I was working at a Japanese company for 4 years. Every year, they'll be like, oh, Misa, you got a raise. And it's like $35. I got a raise, everyone! Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to another video podcast. This is Misa.
This is Yuka.
And welcome to the
Misa YUKA podcast.
So for those who are new to this video or podcast, we are two sisters living in Tokyo currently. And we just like talk about random things every week that we relate to, and we hope that you relate to as well. Okay, so what is today's topic, Yuka?
Today's topic is, do you prefer to work in a Japanese company or an American company?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
That was right, yeah.
Yeah, that was the topic. What do you think?
Why do you look so surprised?
Oh, no, it's because I thought we were doing the other topic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. We can do this topic.
Well, you prepped me for this one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So we asked ChatGPT first because that is like what we should be doing all the time. Asking ChatGPT before we do anything. Okay. And so I kind of first I asked about like the pros and cons.
Right.
About working at a
Japanese
company. Because actually we grew up in the States and we graduated college in the US. And then from there we decided to move to Japan and work in Japan.
Right.
At a Japanese company.
Yeah.
And we both worked at like a Japanese company.
Yeah.
Like no like international company was like, it was like really Japanese. So even though I was like doing more international like side stuff like business wise, but just overall a Japanese company. So ChatGPT tells us that the pros of working at a Japanese company.
Okay, let's start with the pros.
Yeah. Or
okay,
what do you think?
What are your pros? Not like ChatGPT's pros and cons. Let's have our little our own funny sparks.
Right. I think like, okay, so as like a newbie, as like a new graduate, I think it's easier to get into a Japanese company.
Yeah.
Than going to an American company.
With your background or just in general?
I think just in general.
Okay.
You know, because like in Japan there's this called like new graduate program, which is like incorporated in all of the companies. And so all the companies have like they like have a specific system for like hiring new grads.
So they definitely hire new grads every year.
Yeah. So like they have to hire new grads every year. And so that's why it's like easier to get on like the route or like the track to be admitted or like to be chosen as one of their new grads.
Right.
And when you like go into when you get into a company, and so like there's like certain periods of times where you go to like a career forum, you know, and they're just looking for new grads. You know? So I thought it was like pretty, it was like easier. There's like a set route kind of how to get into.
I guess it's like easier, but if you look at it from the other way, like other perspective, that means you can't wander. You can't go off the tracks.
Yeah.
You know? Like you won't be a new graduate next year.
Yeah. So that you can't take like a gap year.
Yeah.
Like I really want to take a gap year.
Yeah. Like
but,
traveling.
Yeah, like traveling and just like do life stuff. But I feel like because Japan is like you have to kind of like go in as a new grad at that timing, at that specific timing, like after you like right after you graduate. Like you can't get off the track.
Yeah.
You can't do your own stuff.
You can't. Which is really interesting. And like kind of strict, like it like restricts you in a sense.
Yeah, it does. Literally, I think it restricts you. Very passionate about it.
It's like a pro and a con at the same time. you're probably more successful getting a job, but at the same time, if you're not looking for a job at the moment, it kind of sucks.
Or if you're like a free spirit, and you're like, oh, I'm not looking for a job right now, but maybe like in like 6 months, you can't really do that.
Yeah. It's like enrolling into like a school kind of.
Yeah, or else like all the companies are like, what were you doing? What were you doing the last 6 months? Like, you can't be like, oh, I was traveling.
Yeah, they'll be like, what?
They'll be like, what the heck?
We can't hire someone like that.
Yeah. You're like too, free.
Yeah.
So like they don't want to take like free flies, you know, flying around.
That's so true.
Yeah, but I think that's like the pro and a con, I guess. Yeah. Like as a new grad. Okay, and then so that's like the entrance part, right? And then once you go into a company, I think it's a lot easier as okay, this is also like there's a pro and con here too. But I think it's like easier as a new grad because like they teach you everything, right? Like, I remember we had the Kenshu thing. We had to like do like a training program. For me, it was like a week, but for like others, like maybe like April entry, like entry people, they do like 3 months training or something, right? And so they kind of like train you on the job,
right? And
they don't really expect you to like produce any results. It's just like you're just training. You're just going to school, for that like first few weeks or months, you know. And so they kind of like nurture you, you know. Yeah. But like in America, like we only know about the United States, but like you kind of like go into the job for that job.
Yeah, like they expect you to know the job before you get the job.
Yeah, but then if you've never worked the job, you don't really know how to do the job.
Yeah,
right?
And then you need the experience to do the job or get the job. So then you can't get the job or get the experience. So therefore, you're in this like unknown cycle. Yeah. So that's why internships are so important in America.
Right, because you have like experience.
Yeah.
But if you do like an interesting internship like me, who works for like a startup, you know, actually starting up a company, that's like also, I don't know. Yeah. You have to get like good internships.
Yeah, you have to get like connections too.
Yeah, a lot of my friends like were interning at like Instagram, like, you know, Facebook and like
Amazon, Twitter, Google,
and stuff like that. But yeah, so like American companies, like, and also you apply for that position, right? But Japanese companies, like you don't apply for a position, which is also a mind effort.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like,
which one?
Japanese companies.
You don't
apply for that position. Like you kind of go in as like a general person.
Right. So they have a role called general position.
I don't understand.
What is a general position? And what happens is like the HR kind of like places you in a place where they think seems fit for you.
Yeah.
And so like if they think you have like good communication skills, you might be sent to like customer service
or like HR.
Yeah, you know? But you studied like biology. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, it's like so. It like actually it really like I don't want to say the bad word, but like it really effed my like mind.
Were you so good? Were you? General?
I was general. And I studied like public health and dance, and I wanted to do like more, you know, like community health stuff, or I don't know, something like that. But I was general.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to be a general.
You were like a consultant, right?
I applied as a UX designer.
Right.
Yeah, but then they fooled me because
you were doing consulting.
I was doing consulting, and it was also like a UX research. Yeah. More so than design. They just changed the name. Yeah. And it was just like, you know. So
yeah, so it's like what you expect for the job and what you actually do for the job is like, I think it's quite different.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think too much like when I first got into a Japanese company, but I got super unhappy about it because I'm like, I never knew what I was doing.
Right.
And like all of my friends were like, you know, in America, they knew what they were doing. Like, oh, I'm like this assistant and I'm doing, my job is this, just this, you know? But like in a Japanese company, like I'm in a general thing, doing general stuff and doing like bits and pieces of like little things.
But the work hour is like this.
Yeah, you know? Like, but because you're doing so much, like you're working a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that is like also like not necessary as well. I think that's like a waste of time.
It
you know?
is.
And so like that part I really didn't understand. And I was like, I thought it was weird, you know, the system.
The system is weird. But at the same time, the system in America where you need the experience to get the experience is like a hassle too.
Yeah, I think that's like, that kind of scared me as a 20-year-old, like applying for jobs. I'm like, I don't have these skill sets.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think I'm like qualified to apply to these like companies because I never had the skill set. And so I was like, okay, like Japan seems like an easy route to get my first job.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, like the good thing is like Japan, it doesn't really matter what you major in. Right?
Yeah.
Your major doesn't matter to the job that you want. So I was like, I studied architecture, but I wanted to become a UX designer. So then I was like, in order to get that career change, the only way is to go to Japan, kind of.
Yeah.
Because
which is also good and bad, I guess.
Yeah. Because like in America, if you studied like a certain major, that's what you're gonna go into. You can't really like change routes, I think.
Unless you go to grad school, and that's why people go to grad school.
Yeah, to do a career change.
Right. But yeah, like the Japan part, it's like the major really doesn't matter.
Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Which I didn't really also understand either.
Okay, so
many things.
Conclusion, we don't understand the system. But okay, let's talk about like
culture.
Yeah.
Like people and culture. Okay, so I think like the American culture, like the working culture is so much better though.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
It's so much like more freedom.
Yeah.
And like you just need to produce the results and like they don't really care about like how you do it.
Yeah, they don't care about the process.
Yeah, like
as long as you produce the results,
you're good.
Yeah.
So they don't really care about like your attitude.
Yeah.
You know? Your like attitude in a meeting.
Yeah, or like the thinking process.
Yeah,
They don't care about the process. They care about the results.
Yeah, so I think that's like yeah, or like how you work and stuff. Like they don't really care.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like it's so much easier, and just like the people too. They don't really care about like the little minute things that you might do. You know, so it's like a lot easier. I think.
Yeah.
Like it's easier on the mind, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
what like Dad also says too.
Yeah.
But in Japan, I think they put the emphasis more so on the process.
Yeah.
Like what kind of attitude you have.
Yeah.
Like if you have like a really obedient kind of like super active attitude, they really like you.
Yeah.
They don't like people who kind of like
are kind of rebellious.
Yeah, or like go against someone, or like they talk about like what they actually think, you know? Like if a manager is wrong, I feel like American people who say like, you know, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And like a lot of my friends are like that too. But then like they do that for like to Japanese managers and they get in trouble.
Yeah. That's true.
Which also doesn't make sense because we also, you know, it's like, what are you working for?
Yeah.
So true. Yeah, when I was like working in a Japanese company, like they always put the emphasis on like how I did things.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's what they critique you on, and that's like the feedback you receive, and that determines how much bonus you get too. Like your attitude.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know about that. I never understood the bonus system either. So.
Or I mean, I guess not the attitude, but like because the attitude kind of determines the type of job that they hand you, and then that kind of determines like your like results, like what you produce. So I guess in a way it like kind of correlates. But I think it's just easier to work with like, I don't know, global people.
Yeah, I think so too. Like even just like emails and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's not talk about the emails. The emails in Japan are so unnecessary and so long and just so unnecessary. Like, yeah, you don't need to do all of that greeting before you get into the point. You know what I mean? Like just get to the point.
Yeah.
And just be like, okay, seriously. Bye, like looking forward to like whatever.
No, also I feel like Japanese, like it's kind of fluffy.
Yeah, it's fluffy. It's like
fluffy. It's like you kind of go around and around to not hurt the person.
Right.
But like in English, it's like it's very direct. You know?
Yeah.
It's like super direct. Like it kind of like gets to the point real fast.
Right. And that's like so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like how people work in America is like really pretty chill.
Yeah.
And so there might be mistakes here and there and stuff.
Yeah, but there's
a lot of like miscommunication and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like Japanese is like more of like they want to make it like as perfect as possible.
Yeah.
Like as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes like,
but that's stressful.
It's really stressful and it like stresses me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like working like that, stresses me out. I just want to like just do it kind of, you know, and just get it done.
Yeah.
And then that kind of sometimes produces like mistakes and stuff.
Yeah, but that's fine.
But I'm just like it's fine, you know. But Japanese people just wanted to make it like perfect and smooth as possible, so like they have to like think about all the steps before they take action. And I don't think I was like, you know, raised like that.
I was grass fed.
I don't think I was raised like to be like that.
That's so funny. Yeah, you're right. I don't think any human was like raised like that.
No, but if you're living in Japan, like you have to be really perfect.
That's
at school and stuff. They kind of expect you to be like super perfect. So
that's true. I guess like the whole society kind of expects you
to be perfect.
To be like
picture perfect.
I don't know about picture perfect. Yeah. But in a sense, like no mistakes. Like mistakes are bad. They don't really So that is how we feel.
Yeah. Now let's talk about money. Because we're not finishing. We have to talk about money.
I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah, money.
Okay.
Because that's a big thing, and I still don't understand why the system is like how it is in Japan.
Okay.
Okay, because in Japan, I was working at a Japanese company for 4 years, right? And like every year, they'll be like, "Oh, Misa, you know, you got a raise," and it's like 5,000 yen. Which is like around $35. I got a raise, everyone. I got a raise. I was so
funny.
I was like shook.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you know. And then I guess like my second or third year, they're like, okay, Misa, like you've been here for 2 years now. Like now we're actually giving you like I think it was like a real raise monthly. I would get paid like I guess $500 more.
Okay.
You know,
but so, then like, you know, but did you know that like the more you get like the raise, I feel like the $500 raise is kind of like bad in a sense of like taxes.
Yeah. So the more you get, the more taxes you need to pay.
So
and like also health insurance. Yeah. The more income you make, the more expensive your health insurance gets. even though you're using probably like the same amount,
Mhm.
right? Or like
Yeah.
using like the same amount of services
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
any health system,
Yeah.
which is so weird.
Which is so weird. No, it is weird. So I feel like that $500 raise is actually not benefiting you.
Yeah,
in a
it's probably
sense.
like benefiting like the government.
Yeah, because now you're
know?
paying more taxes, so you probably got less than what you got before.
Yeah, it's like it's benefiting like the Japanese government that doesn't do anything. That doesn't really
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
And they use it on like really stupid
That's
things.
true. But yeah. And
American
so,
companies, but you get a
what
promotion.
is this raise thing? Like, but at the same time, I feel like American companies, the competition is so like
High.
intense.
Yeah.
That getting a raise is actually pretty hard, and you have to kind of ask for it.
Yeah, you have to ask for it. And like, but in life, you have to ask for things. Like, they don't just give it to you. You have to work for it.
Yeah, you have to work for it, but then it's kind of like you have to have this like awkward conversation where it's like, I need a raise.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you
But,
like,
yeah.
and my friends do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. Like, I think like it's like you have to kind of prove your worth, kind of.
Yeah.
But in Japan, like, you don't really know your worth, and like you're randomly given a raise sometimes. Like, and sometimes it's like minimal. Yeah. And so a lot of my friends like working at like my Japanese company, they're like, oh, like, you know, like no matter like how hard you try, like we're all getting the same money.
Exactly.
And I was like, shoot, yeah, you're right. So like if I'm working really hard for something, for a project or something, and she's not, like we're both getting like paid the same amount. Right?
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and also I was working with like a lot of expats, like from like a different country. Expats are like chuzai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they were getting like, since they were getting paid in like the US level, so they were getting paid so much, like double and more, and they were like getting paid for like their housing, which is like a big amount of money too.
Right.
And I was like working with them every day doing the same job.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was like
terrible.
I'm not really like a materialistic person who like really cares about money, but like those kinds of things were yeah, they were red flags.
Yeah, so now like the way I think is like more like, well, the managers get more money, so why am I doing this? I should just give it to the manager if like I'm not able to like, you know, finish on time.
Yeah, that's
like
their
not
job.
my fault. So I just give it away.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, but overall, it's kind of like I think those like 3 things or 4 things, like getting in, once you get in, the culture, and then the money. Overall, what do you think is like a better option?
Overall, I think, well, like cost of expense, living expense wise, I think Japan is like cheaper. So I would want to work for a company in Japan, but that's like gaishi. What is that? Like global, a globalized Japanese company. Because I think the way to go, so you can work with global people, like international people.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I would actually like to work at an American company.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I can take the competition. It's like pretty cruel.
Yeah. But I feel like not having, I've like experienced like not having competition, like not like, or not being rewarded.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're rewarded, I would be like really motivated.
Yeah.
And like, because in like America, like, I mean, I think I was like more on like I wasn't really competitive, but I was like always kind of trying to do my best, you know,
right,
150%.
Right.
Yeah. So I think like that would kind of motivate me to like do well.
Right.
And stuff. So,
but the competition is more cruel than you think. It's not like
yeah, it's like pretty stressful.
It's like they drag you down. They kind of trick you in a way. Like your competitors are like they trick you so that you go down.
Yeah.
It's that kind of competition. So
yeah, not working for a company might be the best option, everyone.
Okay. And that is it for today.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about like working in a Japanese company or an American company?
We would love to know your thoughts.
Yeah. And actually we don't really since we were Japanese, we were able to work at a Japanese company here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about like non-Japanese speakers moving and working in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like a whole new different story.
Right.
I think it's actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
I think Japan is like a pretty closed society in that sense. But that's a different video.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a different video.
That's another day.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope you guys are having a great day.
And a great life.
I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye!
See you.
Missing someone.